The Ramble from GABNet. Talk like you've never heard it before. What happens when you combine the largest broadcaster in America with a puny, insignificant podcaster? You get the huge platform of iHeartRadio and Alex Bennett's Ramble. Yes, now the Ramble is being carried on iHeartRadio as one of thousands of podcasts they make available. Now the big question is, how do we navigate this clutter? The answer is you. Go to iHeartRadio.com, then to their podcast section and search for Alex Bennett's Ramble. Once you've found it, make it a favorite. If enough of you do it, we could make that 15-year-old girl with her makeup tips step aside for the new king of podcasting. Okay, who am I kidding? She's about 2 million subscribers ahead of us, but it will help to put us on the map. The Ramble and iHeartRadio. Proof that Alex isn't good enough to be on one of their radio stations, but they are desperate enough to feature the Alex Bennett's Ramble podcast. A match made in broadcasting heaven. The Ramble from GABNet. Talk like iHeart and you have never heard before.
This is an Internet Network news break. IP Pingsley reporting. Our top story, the Great American Broadcast Network, otherwise known as GABNet, is now a TuneIn partner. TuneIn, the world's largest audio network, has joined forces with GABNet, the world's most innovative talk network. GABNet's partnership with TuneIn means that listeners now have 3 main ways to listen to GABNet programming: GABNet.net, TuneIn.com, and the convenient TuneIn app for smartphones. To participate in the network's innovative citizen panels on GABNet programs, use Skype and type the handle GABNet Live, or call on your phone 347-352-0079. For more information on this network, its programs, and its hosts, log on to GABNet.net. That's GABNet.net. This has been an Internet Network news break.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this podcast.
5 years and still talking. This is GABNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Tuesday, live from Harlem, New York. Yes, it's the Ramble. It's Alex Bennett, and I'm Alex, and I'll be here until midnight Eastern Daylight Time. Ladies and gentlemen, there she is. We look at her every 2 weeks, and she's always looking radiant. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Ronnie Bennett.
Good morning. Hardly radiant.
Ex-wife and bottle washer. Yeah, hardly radiant. Why are you hardly radiant? What is the...
I've been in bed for a week.
Really? Why?
Sick.
Oh,
Called
okay.
Sick.
I mean, what kind of sick, though?
Temperature, body aches, low energy. Yeah, I mean, name it. And I didn't know that I still don't know whether I have corona or not.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's, and just exhausted. My temperature has been normal since last night.
Okay.
What's today? Tuesday. Since Monday night. And it was again this morning. I'm still tired. I'm going to go out when you and I are done because I need to go to the pharmacy and I want to keep ahead on keeping the freezer full in case I am sick,
Yeah.
And and it's just, I've crawled out of bed to come to the computer and answer email or something now and then. But mostly I've just stayed in bed and Yeah, I tried to binge watch things, but I fall asleep in the middle and couldn't tell you anything about them. So,
Right, right. Wow. So,
uh, but being sick in this period of time, uh, I'm not so sure that the anxiety isn't worse than the illness of is this corona?
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and the one big sin, when you watch those people who are sitting at home and they do have corona
Hmm.
and they tell you about what it's like, every single one of them says sniffles and runny nose. I didn't have that at all.
Well, I always have sniffles and a runny nose, so I don't worry about that. There's somebody I know that may have it. The doctor said probably is corona or whatever, and he's staying home, and he doesn't have sniffles. He has. Did he say he had a cough? I can't remember, but he said he had a temperature. That was the main clue. 101.
Well, I mean, any kind of flu, you have a temperature, so that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. So, but you're feeling better today, is what you're saying.
I'm a little better today. I mean, I don't have a temperature, which you know how that makes your head feel like it's wrapped in cotton batting and you can't think and
right.
all of that. But I really want to say that it's the anxiety. Am I going to die here in my bed all by myself and nobody knows? That's that kind of keeps creeping into your temperature tainted thinking. And yesterday I on Saturday it was bad enough that I called the medical center where I have all my doctors and treatments, and of course I couldn't talk to a doctor. They're busy, I guess. But talked to some doctor who was on call for all this, and she just told me to stay. I also, because I have COPD, I was having heavy breathing problems.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all the rest of it I could live with. That I really can't stand.
Yeah.
And so she said she didn't think I needed to go to the emergency room, and but that if the breathing got worse and I was really having trouble getting any air in, to call 911 and go to the emergency room.
Right.
That didn't happen. It got better. And also, I have oxygen here, so I was using oxygen that helped.
Right.
So yesterday I had my first telehealth appointment.
Right.
My
Marjorie had one of those yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is it's another part of the new normal. But go ahead, tell us about your telehealth.
Well, you go ahead. I mean,
No. I'm just mentioning that this seems to be a common thing now in order to handle things.
It's been around for a long time. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, you could say that's what I had last Saturday too.
Yeah.
But it was with my palliative care provider, and what I asked most importantly was, what is dying of coronavirus like? He had told me that there were almost no beds at that hospital, in that complex.
Right.
And that certainly probably no ventilators, which someone like me would need a ventilator to live.
Right.
If I were that sick. And I thought about that, and he's a palliative care guy, so we talk about these things. Of that if it came to that if I have coronavirus, that they should let me go, because I'm an old woman. I've led most of my life. But I asked him what the dying was. I'm scared of dying of not being able to breathe, of how awful that would be.
Mm-hmm.
To try to get your breath and not.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that there are drugs that they can give you that make that, to ease that and ease the pain. And that it would take a few days.
But he literally said to you that because of your age, they probably wouldn't treat you?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, you said
Take that back. I don't want anybody in the audience hearing that.
Well, no, the reason I asked you that is because that's how it kind of sounded, that you said that because you were of your age.
No. I said that.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, good. Because the latest thing coming out of Italy is they're telling their doctors, do not treat anybody over the age of 60.
Well, and so are they saying it here. I mean, there's the lieutenant governor of Texas just said that every one of us old people, it's up to us to stand up and take the virus.
Oh, God. Oh, my, oh, my. Yeah.
So now I want to go back to that. I want to be really clear.
Yeah.
I said that.
Oh, okay. All right.
I said that.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that. That's all.
I didn't think I was unclear. And that's really, really important. I mean, it's not a joke.
Yeah.
And it's not laughable. And it's really important that a doctor did not say that to me.
But it is true that, I mean, I heard several doctors, when asked the question about age, said that if there are only one ventilator and there are two patients and one of them is 80 and one of them is 40, I'm giving it to the one who's 40.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I heard that in a discussion.
Doctors make those decisions, but I think that they're on the spot. I mean, if you've got a 40-year-old that's going to die anyway, whatever you do, and an 80-year-old that might survive, I think you'd see a doctor doing the reverse. But they're making those ventilators work for two people at a time.
They're testing it here in New York, is what they said. That's what Cuomo said today. They're testing it. It's a possibility.
Somebody else said it 2 days ago, Fauci, I think.
Yeah. He said it's a possibility. They're not sure they can get them to work that way, but if they can, it takes some rearranging of the electronics or whatever to do it. But if they can do that, that will help with the problem, because here in New York we've got, what did he say? I can't remember the number, something like 4,000 ventilators, and we're going to need 30,000 within 15 days. That's, so they're going to have to figure out some way to double up on ventilators and so on. So
if they can, you can't go around saying you must when nobody knows how.
Yeah. But we have a president here that is already wanting people to get back to work.
Yes.
He's thinking more about the economy than he is about the public health.
Well, it's just going to kill everybody at work then.
Well, I mean, I agree that if somebody has had it and it's been resolved, they could go back to work safely. Okay.
I've also read one long article on recurrences after you've been cleared. Mm-hmm. Until we know if that's true or not, you can't be sending people back to work.
Well, Cuomo said they have a test which they're going to maybe release tomorrow that will be able to tell whether you've had it and it's been resolved. Okay. And if that's the case, they can say that certain people at least can do certain things, maybe like helping other people by going and helping older people who need help and don't want to get infected. And if they've resolved, they will not infect them. It's a whole, all of this is, and Cuomo's been very good about this. He says, all of this is just things we're looking at. He said the reality is this, and then he gives you the realities of the number of beds, the number of ventilators, what the need will be.
I understand.
Yeah, he's very. I don't know if you've seen him, but
yes, I just said I had. We're going to clean out your ears, okay? That's twice a day.
Don't be cranky just because you're sick.
I am really cranky, so be careful.
Today you are the crabby lady that you talk about. Crabby old lady. Cuomo, I mean, I wish he were president right now in handling this crisis, because he really does a wonderful job of it. I watch him every day and I go, he's not telling me everything's going to be fine and everything's going to be wax lips and roses. He says, here's what the situation is. And then he talks about the other toll, which is the emotional toll it's taking on people and how to deal with that. He said, here's the good news. If you're at home with your kids, here's a real chance to bond with your kids again and not have to go to work,
Sure, well, they're in the other room.
Yeah, but that's a little
far-fetched.
I am so upset with our president only because he's just not the leader we need in a situation like this. Okay?
Oh, you haven't been upset with him before?
Well, I was upset with him before, but I mean, now it's the time. You know, there are people that I've hated, like Rudy Giuliani, but I had to admit that when it came to 9/11, he handled it well.
Could I interrupt here a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Whatever happened to Rudy Giuliani? Where is he?
He disappeared off the face of the planet. I actually think that there's a segment of the Trump administration that offs people. And I think they may have just gotten to Fauci, because Fauci hasn't been seen for a couple of days.
I'm so up. When I tuned in yesterday and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody on the podium was all standing we're all standing shoulder to shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're supposed to be 8 feet apart or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Never mind. There's nothing right, absolutely zero right going on from the Trump administration or anybody in it.
Well, if in fact they pushed Fauci out, that is a huge error in judgment, you know, because he's the guy you listen to. He's your go-to guy. You know?
Yes, we understand. We all know that. Everybody knows that.
But we all know Trump's smarter than anybody else.
You know, I have no patience with that kind of stuff anymore. I mean, I just have no patience. There's nothing good that can be said about that man. The less we say, the better off we are. And if you are the praying sort, or whatever it is that you do to contact the gods, then you have to just pray that he doesn't kill us all.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what was interesting that Cuomo talked about today. He said he got a hold of the Health and Services Department, or whatever that cabinet post is. The government is holding on to 20,000 ventilators.
Yes, I heard that. Yes.
And what he said to them was, look, what you do is you release them to the state that is most needy, which is ours, because we have about 10 times the infection rate of any other state in the union. A lot of it has to do with density of population and the fact that we're doing more testing. He said, we need those ventilators. When we're through with them, I, at the cost of New York City, will send it to another state that needs them. That's the way it should be done. Not like, well, this state has so much, so we'll apportion 10 to them and 20 to another and whatever. He said you go to the place that's ground zero, you take care of that, then you move those ventilators elsewhere. He said, I'll ship every ventilator in this state out to another state if we don't need them, you know? And so the thing about Cuomo is he at least has some kind of solutions, you know, and logical solutions. Our president is doing none of that. Our government is doing none of that. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. And
I'm past railing about it. I'm so far past it. People are dying left and right.
What I'm so happy about is that we're going to save the cruise ships. You know?
I don't know about that.
Oh, the president has been saying we have to.
Come on, go on to something else.
We have to bail out the cruise ships.
Yeah.
Where was
bail out whoever he wants, but let's I can't stand them. I used to not be able to stand his voice. I now cannot stand his name. And I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I just don't want to hear.
Well, all I'm
I
saying.
can read the headlines. I know what he does. That's all I need.
All I'm saying about cruise ships is they're floating petri dishes. They've always caused some kind of illness. You know, we hear those stories every other week. So anyway, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? You know, how you're feeling better, so that's good news.
Better today. I'm getting very tired. It's 10:20 here, and I've been up since 5:30, and I also, you know, I'm still so amazed. I never quite get accustomed to it. The exercises that they taught me in pulmonary rehab help my breathing so much. And when I don't, which I didn't exercise for the near week I was sick, it wasn't I don't believe it was whatever is wrong with me that was so much causing the breathing. It's I wasn't doing the exercises every morning.
Yeah.
So this morning, after always have to have a cup of coffee first if you'd like me to move around at all. So I had the cup of coffee and I started the exercises, and I was doing pretty well. And the phone rang when I was about 20 minutes into them, and so that was a good excuse to stop. Because as much good as they do for me, I hate it. I just hate it. So I use that. I've been sick, so I only did 20 minutes today, but tomorrow I'll do better.
That was the one thing that we had in common. Exercising is something we didn't particularly like. We know you have to do it.
Particularly, spell it, H-A-T-E. I hate it. I just hate it. I've done it all my life, and I just can't stand it. And, I don't play physical games. I don't play baseball. I don't play whatever things grown-ups games they play. I wasn't any good at them in school, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. Anyway, we'll see if I'll do it. But, I got it 20 minutes in. I was just doing it this morning to see how far I could get without wearing out. And I was ready to keep going if the phone hadn't rung.
Good. Well, you're on the mend, so maybe it wasn't the coronavirus, but certainly with your condition, any kind of cold you get or whatever is more serious than it would be to somebody else, because of the COPD.
The doctor said yesterday, the thing about coronavirus, because I have COPD, when I asked him, I think, did I say this earlier? I'm still fuzzy-headed a little bit. That I, oh, God damn, forgot what I was saying. I asked him, what about dying of it, and what it was like. I mentioned that. And the thing is that with as bad a COPD as I have, there's no living through coronavirus. When I said that to him, he agreed with me. Yeah. So I guess it's not, unless, I have the vaguest memory that I've seen a couple of people interviewed, but this was during the period of time I had a temperature, so God knows what I heard. But I think I heard that at least a couple of people who were interviewed who were stuck at home because they have the virus said that they'd had some light symptoms in the beginning, and then they disappeared and they thought they were better, and then they got slammed. I may be wrong, because I was pretty out of it when I was trying to watch television those few days. Yeah. But so I'm kind of holding my breath now to see if anything comes back.
I have not been out of the house for a week now. Have not left the apartment. Marjorie has gone out to the store and then quickly come back. She goes down with a mask and gloves, and the reason I haven't left is they say, well, if you're over 80, tick, okay, and have cancer, tick, all right, you're more subject to this. You're more liable to have a serious situation. So I'm afraid to go out,
Well, it's a lot of work to go out. I have to go to the pharmacy today. Yeah. And, so because there's no such thing as hand sanitizer, I've got a little bit now that someone gave me, but I think far more effective are gloves. And I happen to have a box of 200 of them here.
Yeah, we have them too.
Yeah. And from something else. So I have a whole lot of gloves in the glove compartment of the car, and I always shove 2 or 3 pair in my pocket, and I think those are more effective than hand sanitizer anyway. And my pharmacy is in the supermarket, and I saw in the local paper that they were retrofitting the checkout aisles with self-checkout.
Ah, good.
So I'm interested in saying, no, I don't think it's good. I don't want to pack my own groceries.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
But, you do what you have to do. And So I'll check that out while I'm there today and do a little bit of shopping as long as I'm in the building.
Are you wearing a mask too?
No, there's no masks anywhere. I'll never have a mask in my life. They don't have enough at the hospitals here. How am I going to
Actually,
get one?
we have a couple of them because, first of all, my wife's company had some.
You told me you steal them, which I think.
No, I didn't steal them.
That
I
we
was
need the
no,
hospital workers.
I was
just
ta-
furious with
I
you
was
about
talking about gloves. I wasn't talking about those.
We were talking about masks.
No, I wasn't. When I said I took stuff from the hospital, I always grabbed a couple of gloves.
You told me a face mask.
No,
We can go get the tape.
no. I can get the tape. I never said face mask because I never took a face mask. But anyway, she got a couple of face masks from her company. These are the N95s, and then our our super here in the building said, "Wait a minute, let me go down and get you something." He came back with 2 masks, and we said, "Where did you get these?" And he says, "Oh, we have a ton of them downstairs because this is what we use when people work on apartments so that they don't breathe in the dust and the asbestos or whatever." So he got us a couple of those, so.
Is there asbestos in your building?
Well, I don't know if there's asbestos anymore, but there are a lot of contaminants and stuff when you're working on an apartment and tearing it apart.
But asbestos in particular, you should be really clear about whether it's there or not.
I think most of the asbestos is gone in this apartment house, but this is an old apartment house. It's 1900.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you should be living with asbestos.
But anyway, they churn up a lot of dust, and so they have them wear the masks, and that's what those masks are. So.
He should be sending them to the local hospital.
Well, maybe he needs them for the people who work for him, so. Yeah.
The only people that need them, if they are limited right now, are the people who put their life on their line to care for us.
I'm sure he doesn't have hundreds of them downstairs. Let me put it that way. Okay. But he did get us a couple of them, and, we use them when we go to the store.
I would have said that I do not have any gloves. And then I remembered this box from when I used to have to give myself injections.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 200 count box.
Yeah.
So, you use 1 pair a day. That leaves me lots and lots.
Yeah.
So, and if you're only going out of the house once or twice a week, that what's left can last me a lot. I'd send half of them to a friend in New York City because you can't find gloves anywhere in New York City.
Right.
You can't here either.
Well, Marjorie bought some for some reason, and we have a box of them, so.
But the hospital workers, I don't know how they go to work every day with the lack of protection. And I know that, as much as fuzzy-headed from a temperature, me was worried and frightened about what I might have when I was so sick. I can't imagine what it's like to get up and go to the hospital every day.
Right.
And you've got children at home, or a
Right.
husband or a wife, or perhaps, your mother or father live with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so frightening.
Hey, we run out of time.
We did.
Yeah.
Look at what we've moaned and groaned through the whole thing.
Well, it's the main moaning and groaning these days. It's the main topic of conversation. Get better, feel good.
I'm much, much better. I realize now I'm just wearing down, that I probably need a nap,
Timegoesby.net. That's where you'll find Ronnie Bennett, and every couple of weeks you'll find her right here. Thank you, Ronnie.
You're welcome. Thank you, darling.
Still talking. This is GABNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Yeah, and there's Ronnie. There she goes. Okay, let me see here. Where are we? I'm all fablungent. Got to figure out how this damn thing works. I think it works like this. If I just click this button, I'll start getting Skype coming up. It'll take a little while. For some reason, Skype on this machine takes a while to engage, as it were. But it seems to be okay. Here, let's see here. Come on. I'm waiting. There we go. Okay, now it's up and running. let me see here. But it's not up and running. Come on. Start up, will you, Skype? No? Skype is there. There we go. Hold on a second, folks. No, that's not what I want. Oh, boy. This is, let me just take this down here. All right. I don't know what happens here with me. No, I've got to try. I've got to fit. See, I got to fit Skype into the page here. All right. Okay. Skype's up and running, and then I got to get myself up and running. Here we go. There we go. Now you should all have me a green light on me that says, "Hey, why don't you call Alex?" All right. And we do Ronnie about once every 2 weeks, and we did how many minutes on her tonight? 25 minutes. She's the only one now that we're doing 25 minutes with, but I think she's well worth it, and I'm glad to hear she's feeling better. I have another friend who thinks he's got the coronavirus, so it's going around. That's what they say, right? It's going around. And I thought before I came on tonight I had a little temperature, but then I took my temperature again, and it was different. It's 98.5, okay? But I've had a headache today, which I think has something to do with the seeds. Okay, folks, I'm waiting for calls from people, but I'm not getting any. Is there a reason for that? I know that we're on and we're ready to go, but nobody's calling yet. Could there be a reason? Can you hear me? I'm with you, Ronnie, on Trump. Okay. Just let me know in the chat. Are you hearing me? And try calling me. What is the problem here? Usually here we go. There we go. All right. I was getting worried there for a moment. And no need to worry, though. No need to worry. Let me see here. Phil is there, and let me put him in a spot here. Scuba diver. Okay, there we go. And then I simply go boom, and there he is. See? And then Charlie Wallace is calling, and I go into the next spot here, which is the number 2 spot, and I give Charlie Wallace his own little place. Let me see here. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, boy. And Sibby Itty is calling. I'll have to give him a place too, but let me first give Charlie a place. Charles Wallace. There we go. Okay. And then now 3, we go and see if we can get Sibby in there. Sibby Itty, Sibby Sibs. That's what he calls himself. And ta-da! There they are, ladies and gentlemen. The first 3 people. Oh, here comes Rob Alfano. Oh, your people are now coming at me quick and fast. Let me see here if I can do this as quick and fast as I can. Let me see here. Rob Alfano, is he up there? No, I got to redo him again. See, until I see a picture here, I can't find them on the list. There's Rob Alfano. Okay, there we go. There's Rob, and I will go over to that. There we go. Hello, everybody. How are you this evening?
Okay.
Yeah. Hi there, Phil. You're quiet tonight.
I was giving you a chance to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Did you, Rob?
Yeah.
Did you do something to your face?
I shaved my my beard off.
Yes, you did.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the all-new Rob Alfano.
He's no
longer
longer
his free time.
What?
Yeah, I got rid of the beard. I got tired of it.
Yeah. When did you do it? This weekend?
About 4. I did it Saturday, I think.
Really? Because you know what I found? Whenever I have ever cut off my facial hair for one reason or another, people have said to me, they don't notice that you cut off your beard. They just say, have you been doing something lately or whatever? They don't quite get the fact that you cut off the facial hair.
Yeah. And people look at you and say, "Did you get a haircut?"
That's it. Yeah.
I've had a beard or a goatee for probably since I was 18 years old, with the exception of maybe a few weeks in between.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's all white, get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
decided it's over.
okay.
Plus, it doesn't match my hair because my hair is dark.
Mm-hmm.
My beard is all gray.
What do they say? The curtains don't match the rug?
Yeah. That had to do with blondes who really were brunettes, and a certain part of their anatomy wasn't brunette. But these days they shave it off, so it doesn't matter. You know?
Being in the rug business, I always thought it was about rugs.
Oh, yeah.
Shag.
Yeah. So look at Rob. He's slowly getting his studio together.
It's starting.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds fine. You know. Oh, here comes Kevin. Let me see here. 6, and we go into the number 5 spot, and we find a place for Kevin. We go. He is Hog Rider. Yeah, I automatically know these names now. There's Hog Rider. And do you have your dude wipes with you tonight? You never know when you need your dude wipes.
They're around here somewhere.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm feeling
They're distracting.
a little feverish tonight, but I took my temperature about 5 times, and it went back and forth between 97.6 and 98.7. 98.7. And I'm going, that's weird, you know. Anyway, I'm
Low
fine.
temperatures. I'm getting these low temperatures.
Yeah.
And, I thought it was 97.8 was normal.
You know, I've been taking
98.6.
90.6, yeah.
I've been taking my temperature every time I turn on a newscast, and they say, we're ground zero here in New York and I go, I better go take my temperature, you know. So that's my latest thing. Of course, you know, this is a horrible thing for a hypochondriac.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just terrible for a hypochondriac. Let me see here. Do we have cancel? See, until people's pictures come in, I can't bring them in. Let me see here. Here now he should be there. Well, there we go. Okay, all right, and there's Tony. Hello, Tony.
How's it going?
How you doing? You got the corona yet?
I'm telling you, I'm probably just as bad as you. I run out to the drugstore, get a medicine, and I come right back. I don't want to leave the house. I go in the yard with the dogs.
I have not. Maybe the reason I'm feeling feverish and tired and exhausted is I haven't been really out of the house. Today was the first time I went out of the house, and I went downstairs into the lobby to get the mail and came right back up.
I mean, I'm not that. I mean, it's almost like I do what I have to do, and I come right back. I'm actually now. I went to Seatown today. I go in because it's a small store by my house.
Yeah.
And I just go in for a couple of things because I don't need a lot. And I'm like, I grab it, check out. And I have actually soap on me, like the little Purell, and I Purell my hands when I leave.
Yeah.
I hope, and Alex, I don't want to get off topic. I really hope he drops dead, this guy, Trump. Because that speech at the end of the day, we're going to go back.
Yeah. What I loved was he said, what a beautiful day that would be for us to get back to normal. Would be on Easter. And I'm thinking,
Everybody stuffed the church.
Well,
yeah.
I'm thinking, wait a minute, you couldn't make it Passover? You know?
Of course not. That would be Jewish.
Yeah, that would be too Jewish for Trump.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, what about social? I mean, it's almost like 2 days ago.
Look, Fauci was looking at him like he was from outer space when he was given that whole, thing.
Did Fauci say that he wasn't pushed out by Trump? He was just busy?
Well, he's not going to say the truth anyway.
Well, yeah, but you know what Fauci said about him a few days ago, before he disappeared. He said that it's very hard for me to get the proper information out to the American public when he's telling them bad information.
Well,
and that's the last we've heard from him.
And that was the last we heard of him for quite a few days. And then he got so much heat. Where's Fauci? Where's Fauci? That all of a sudden Fauci is standing there like he's like, he's so short you think he's like Edgar Bergen's.
what people don't understand is we're all going to get this virus. We're mostly all.
Phil, he's being callous about it.
It's just
people are dying right now.
Phil, number one, I'm getting tired of you giving out false information about
not
this.
false.
I don't want any medical information put out on this program. No, that's not what they're saying, Phil.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to hold the curve down so that the healthcare system can handle the number of cases and that doesn't get overwhelmed. That's why.
But it is going to be overwhelmed. It already is overwhelmed. I talked to my doctor's office today because I'm supposed to have a CT scan to see how the seeds are doing, if they're in the right place. And she said to me, well, they will call you from the hospital next week and make a date with you. If you don't want to do it next week, he said, because we can do a CT scan here. But if you don't want to do it next week and you want to wait a month till this coronavirus thing settles down a bit, that will be just fine because it's not essential. And then I said, boy, what would have happened if I wanted to have the operation today? Okay, if I had to have the operation today. And she said, well, we could do the operation. The only thing is, we don't have any seeds to put in you because the seeds aren't available now. The seeds have suddenly become, the radioactive seeds have suddenly become unavailable. So what would be the sense of us doing it? She said, but that's our problem. We can't get the seeds. Now, why that's become a problem, I have no idea, but, it could be for any number of different reasons.
Maybe they're giving him to Trump, eating him for breakfast.
Yeah, he's eating them for breakfast.
Take another one, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You really think they put the seeds in and they just didn't, do the placebo operation?
Well, if they did, Phil, then I wonder why it's a little harder for me to pee, and I have all kinds of side effects from it.
It's psychological.
Yeah, it's psychological. Yes, Sibby, you're quiet.
Just listening to you guys.
I mean, how does he say Easter, like you said?
I was very disappointed with the whole, remember the time when they talked about throwing Granny over the cliff?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Everything the Republicans made a big deal about, from the fiscal deficit to the socialism to throwing Granny over the cliff, everything that made their blood boil at one point in time.
Yeah.
They are acceptable to that. What kind of hypocrisy is that?
Yeah. Well,
it is unbelievable.
I'm not going to say it's a Republican thing or it's a Democratic thing. I am going to say that it is a political thing. And there are a lot of politics going on here. When right now, we don't need politics. We need action. And I don't know that the bill they passed was, the fight they were having was the Republicans wanted to give Mnuchin $500 million that he could use at his discretion for whatever he wanted to use it for. And they went.
And wouldn't even have to tell us about it.
And wouldn't even have to tell us where he was spending it.
Hotels and first class airfare for his wife, his pretty wife.
And hookers.
And hookers.
See, that's a fucking slush fund.
Yeah, I mean, that was the kind of thing they were fighting over. The Democrats really just wanted the money to go to people and to the hospitals and to the problem directly, rather than some kind of little slush fund where we didn't know where that money was going. $500 million. Okay.
I don't even care if the airlines go out of business now. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I have a statement and a question.
Okay.
The statement is. I forgot, but the question is: is India experiencing a high level of the virus?
I don't think Russia is.
Not too much. We had about confirmed 500 cases and double-digit death, probably less than 50.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole country is on a lockdown right now for 21 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. There's so many people in India. It's such a densely populated area. I'm just. I hadn't heard much about the virus there.
Yeah. It's under lockdown, and it's very difficult to test. And I think the cases are low because there's not enough testing being done.
A lot of little
people walking around with the infection.
A lot of these smaller countries, I had a guy here today fixing something, and he was from El Salvador. He does a lot of handiwork for me. He built my patio, screen and patio downstairs, and he came back to fix something. And I asked him, I said, how is everything in El Salvador? And he said, they have a handful of cases because as soon as this started to come, the president said, no one's working. We're locking everything down. No flights in or out. The borders are closed. And they don't, there may be 6 cases there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a dream for Trump.
Well, he should have locked it down in December.
He didn't take it seriously in the beginning. He kept comparing it to the flu. Yeah, it'll go away as soon as it warms up.
More people die of flu every year.
Like a miracle.
He didn't take it serious early enough. And you can dispute that, Phil, but you really can't because, we got plenty of footage of him being asked about it and him responding in kind. This is not hearsay.
Yeah.
He didn't take it serious. What he does now is a different story.
You know what they're going to have to do?
Wait a minute.
They're going to have to do like they do in Italy. Lock up everybody in the houses and come out with those spray guns and sterilize everything.
Yeah, remember the medfly? They'll just spray everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the medfly was Governor Brown.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's looking bad. Come on, he's looking. To say that today about.
Well,
say Easter Sunday.
Let me put it this way. What's his name? Andrew Cuomo is doing. He's doing what the president should be doing right now.
Should be doing.
We watch him every day. My mother. I says, "This is the guy who's the president." We sit there.
Well, you see him. I wondered if people were seeing him, and then I suddenly realized they're running his press conferences on MSNBC, so people have got to see and CNN, and they've got to be watching what he's saying. And it's not that he's calming. What he is he's believable, and he's attempting the kind of solution that a governor can engage in,
thoughtful discussion, thoughtful,
and also a thoughtful explanation. Yes, Kevin.
And the president was saying how nice he was and how they're getting along, then proceeded to throw him under the bus on Fox today.
Oh, really? How did he throw him under the bus?
What did he say?
He told him, he said, we're getting along real well, but we had ventilators for Cuomo in 2016, and he should have ordered 16,000 of them, and he said no.
So screw him.
Yeah.
Right?
Ventilators and
well, that's his fault. He should have had these, and he said no in 2016.
Well, he did.
Well, for instance, here's something that Cuomo said today, and I this is why I'm saying this is a guy who is a good executive this way. He was talking about the fact that out of the health department, they had something like 20,000 ventilators. And he called them up and said, I want those 20,000 ventilators. And they said, well, we were thinking of apportioning them to the states depending upon their needs and so on. And he said, New York City is ground zero right now. There are more people dying here than anywhere else in the United States. There are more people infected with this than anywhere in the United States. There are going to be more people needing ventilators here than anywhere. So here's the idea. You send us all those ventilators. He said, as soon as we don't need them any longer because we'll be able to start stemming the tide, we'll send those ventilators somewhere where they are needed. And then when those people have done the job, they move the ventilators to somewhere else where they're needed. And that these ventilators get moved around the country as soon as one area is cleaned up. And since ours is the one that's ground zero right now, we need as many as we can lay our hands on. And I thought that was a perfectly acceptable
which to me
way to
is
handle
the
it.
reason why you have the feds holding on to a stockpile of them, so they're there when we need them to go where they have to go.
Well, they weren't willing to just let them go, okay?
Well, that's what they're there for Christ's sakes. That's what
Yeah, they were. They wanted.
Why would New York buy 16,000 ventilators when they don't need them at the time?
Yeah,
you don't stockpile them just to have them. You put them in a place where you can get them when you need them.
Yeah.
You know what Cuomo could have said to him? I would have said to him, you know what? We should order them. Maybe you should have took this a little more seriously, and we wouldn't be in this fucking problem.
And I got another thought. The biggest money-making city in the United States, possibly the world, is New York City.
Yeah.
And Trump is all about getting business back to work. You got to start in Manhattan. You got to start in New York City. You cannot have this virus run rampant. He wants to return to work. That's how you do it. You help them out.
Exactly.
But you don't do it in the next 2 weeks. I'm sorry. You know, what he is he's worried about two things. That he's not going to get elected because the unemployment rate is going to be too high. And he's not going to get elected because he handled this thing so badly. So he wants to get everybody, and also because of the stock market, how low the stock market is. So he wants to get everybody back to work so the stock market goes up. And so, you know, it doesn't look like the things are as bad as they are. But they will continue to be bad, and that will make them worse. Okay? I mean, right now, I haven't left the house in a week. Okay? And I'm not planning. And Marjorie is going to the store tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody there. Okay? And she's going with her mask, and she's going with her gloves. We have a whole box of rubber gloves. She's going to use a set of those, and she's then going to go in there, get what she's got to get, and leave. Okay?
That's what I do. It's like a relay race when I run.
Tonight we spent $31 ordering a dinner from Popeye's Chicken down the street. They deliver, but it was $31 with a tip and everything. Okay, but when it came, as soon as it came, we paid the guy through the door like this. Okay, right, and then we took the package and we immediately took it out of its plastic outer and put the boxes on the table, and then we took some rags and washed them all down, the boxes. Just rub them all down with water, okay? And then we washed our hands. And then we ate our chicken. Okay? And I don't know. I think if you cook something, the bacteria isn't going to last on the chicken.
They say if you nuke it in the micro, I heard just throw it in the microwave. It'll kill anything.
Yeah, well, I'll stick my whole body in the microwave then.
You got to radiate your food now before you eat it.
Hey, my operations manager is 71, and he went to Safeway the other morning because you could get in at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and if you're over 60 or 65.
Yeah.
So he's in the line for the 65-year-olds, and there's a big long line for the under 65s, and some lady starts yelling at him. You're not 65. What are you doing in that line?
You told that story the other day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know, Pete, there's a 15-minute cycle for stories.
Oh, yeah, it's okay if you tell it again.
All right. So, you know, the woman says, are you 65? He says, no. And she says, well, you shouldn't be in that line. He says, I'm 71. So, but I've heard other reports of people doing that. I've seen it on Facebook. People are, you know, in the line for the 65, and people are yelling, "You don't belong there."
Mm-hmm.
Get angry out there.
I always feel funny when I take a senior discount at 63 because people don't think I look 63, and so I feel like I have to take my license out to show them I'm really over 60.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the worst I had to do was when I first found out I could get into movie theaters because it was like 62 or something for senior price. I just said, the hell with it. I'm not going to pay full price. If I can get senior, I'll get senior. I'll suck it up, you know, and get senior. And I had another woman with me who was, she was in her 40s, but she was in college. She was going to UC Berkeley, and she had a student card. So I gave him my senior card, my Social Security card, and my driver's license, and she gave him the student card. I said, one student and one senior, please. You know?
My wife is 40. I pay two seniors. They never balk.
Really? Okay.
I'm paying for it.
You're
I'm
paying
the
for
senior.
it, right.
I'm buying the ticket.
That's right.
It's coming out of my pocket. It's not coming out of her pocket. I'm the senior.
That's right.
I'm buying a ticket.
That's
if
right.
she was buying the ticket, she wouldn't get it.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean,
that too.
Yeah, I just think that every day we, you know, let me put it this way. Marjorie is watching television, and I'll go in and I'll look and see, and it's the Trump press conference. which he moved from, by the way, 12:30 in the afternoon till 6 o'clock at night, our time out here, for a very important reason. That when he held them before, he made the stock market go down, when the market was still open. Although I do believe he was probably shorting the stock somehow. But anyway, she's watching it, and I said, "Oh, it's the shut the fuck up show," because she sits there through the whole show yelling at the screen, "Shut the fuck up." You know.
You know what I noticed the other day? What happened to the presidential seal on the front of the podium?
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
it just says the White House now.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to calling the president President Trump or President Obama? They're not doing President Trump anymore. They just call him Trump. I even heard one news person calling him Mr. I heard one news person calling him Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
You know.
I like that.
You know who I saw out there the other day too was what's his name? Sean, the old what's his
Sean
name?
Spicer was in the
Spicer.
press corps.
I seen him out.
Yeah.
I was cracking up.
Here's the thing I don't get though. In the press room, they have now separated the press from each other by about 2 seats, right? But they don't separate them the row back.
Yeah.
So they're still within 6 feet of each other.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he said today, he says, "Oh, well, maybe you guys will be getting closer together, maybe in the next week or so."
Yeah, because things are going to clear up within the next week.
Things are going to get better. We'll start with you guys and get you guys closer
Every day I tune in what I call the Cuomo show. And every day what was it? I think yesterday he actually had good news that the rise had gone to 13% from about 20%. But then today it was bad news because it had exponentially gotten much higher. And I watch it every day because I want to see when we're going to hit that tipping point in which we say, okay, that's it. That's the curve is over with now. Now it's going to be going down. But I figure I'm going to be in this apartment for the next month and a half, 2 months.
Well, it's funny when the stock market went up today and they said it was the best day since 1933. I said, because it's been so goddamn low and it's going up again. How can you take credit for that shit?
By the way, it didn't go up as high as the highest low we hit, which was like 3,000.
It was just a percentage number.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's been the best day since 1933. You can see we're coming back. I don't know.
Yeah,
Jeez,
it went from 18,000 to 19,000 or something like that.
VFD.
And even to say that, and you think about what they're saying, it's the best day. We're all shuttled in the house. Let's really think about it. No one wants to spend their money.
Phil has found I can tell Phil has found a statistic.
You guys are all attracted to the bright, shiny object. I was just going to say,
well, I want to live.
There's a case.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, there's a case in Phoenix where the guy took a drug.
Oh yeah, we know this. Yeah. They were
the Trump.
And it was fish tank cleaner.
Yeah, and you know why he took it?
Because he's a moron.
No. Anybody here want to tell him why he took it?
He heard Trump say it on the air.
Because he heard, and the wife, the wife said the reason he took it was because he heard about this drug as a possible cure from the president on TV. The only thing was there are different forms of this particular drug, and this one was only good for
it was killing parasites in fish. One.
Yeah,
that was it.
What were you going to say, Kevin?
And there's another drug that cures lupus that everybody's going after that they cannot get a hold of for the real lupus patients now.
Yeah. All because moron boy opened his big fat mouth.
He couldn't keep it shut.
He says people listen to it, and some of them are going to believe it.
But this guy,
first to find out if it
about
works.
30%
These people are going nuts over it.
Believe it.
And this
just like the toilet paper.
Agreed, this guy was an idiot to do it, but Trump was an idiot to say it. Okay.
You know, you got it. You don't take fish tank cleaner.
And he didn't know any better. The guy.
Yes, but the person who you believe in, the president of the United States,
you
said,
can't continue to be a victim.
Phil, you also have to, as president, be more responsible and realize that what you say and what you do has its own actions.
If he said it a smooth melodic tone that Cuomo said it, you'd be sucking his dick too. But because
Obama said Cuomo's not giving false information out.
Poetry and the other one says in a way that's smooth.
Well, no. But what Trump was doing was giving out false information. Which, by the way, about 3 minutes later, Fauci said, "Well, the evidence on that is only anecdotal."
Correct.
Okay. He had to correct the president because he felt the information the president was giving was erroneous and dangerous.
Are they looking at that as well as some other drugs to besides the malaria one, the Zithromax with something else?
No, Zithromax is with the malaria drug, Phil.
Right. Yeah. And so they work together in conjunction. And this guy's eating pool cleaner. Come on.
But the point is that Fauci went up there and disclaimed it, and then after the disclaimer, Trump still went up there and said, "I still think it's a good idea. I'm really happy with it. I'm really good with it. I really think it's going to be good. Can't I be happy about it? Can't I be happy about it?"
If the guy eats fish tank cleaner, he did the world a favor.
No, that's not nice.
I've seen good
disagree with
things
you there because maybe it's just one more supporter that's gone, but I agree with you there.
I've seen good things, is what he always says. I've seen good things. What has he seen?
Yes.
What has he seen? He's seen nothing. It'll work. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. We'll see.
You know what's amazing? When this guy gives, when he
be bad things, but maybe it won't. Maybe it will.
Yeah, we'll see.
We do know the facts are that fish tank cleaner does not work.
No, it isn't fish tank cleaner. It was a fish. It was a pill for fish. Yes, Charlie.
One thing that I haven't heard anybody on the press point out is that, we've had over 500 people die from this disease. And I have not heard one word out of Trump's mouth of any kind of condolences or expressing any sorrow for any of the people that have died.
That's because you have to be.
No, he's more worried about the opening up the states, open up the country, because he thinks there's going to be more people committing suicide.
Yeah.
That's what he's.
Oh yeah, that was the other one today.
People committing suicide.
People are committing suicide over this.
Who's committing suicide?
Well, that's what Trump said tonight.
Huh?
He said that if we don't get the country opened up, that more people were going to start committing suicide because their businesses were going to close and they're going to lose their jobs and people were going to get depressed and more people were going to commit suicide.
Well, at least suicide is not contagious.
This is I know. This is what the guy was saying. My 15-year-old daughter was listening to this today, and she said, "What did he just say?"
It's amazing.
He's 15 years old.
He told you the truth. That's what he told you.
Oh, really?
You're out of your mind.
The truth. I don't believe for one fucking second that Trump is worried about people committing suicide.
This crew will never be monetized.
He knows.
Well, you know what I heard?
Nobody's even swore yet.
I have a friend who's a
potty mouth.
I have a guy that I know pretty well who's a YouTuber, and he said you cannot mention coronavirus if you want to be monetized.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, if you want to be monetized on
at all?
Yeah, I know.
I was doing a live show the other night, and he goes, "Yeah, we can't say the word, but with everything going on."
Well, I say to hell with YouTube on that one. I mean, this is an important discussion for people to have, if nothing more, as a catharsis for the situation. And they sent it out. They said, "Well, we're trying to assess whether talking about it is proper, and so on and so forth." Listen, I have a
what else is on people's minds?
Let me see here. Who is this that's calling? Who is this?
What else is on people's minds?
Oh, there we go. Who is it? I can't.
Who is this?
We're getting repeat.
We're getting repeat. You got to turn your audio off.
You got to turn your.
There we go. Whatever you did, but who is this? And now he's frozen. Who is this? But now your mic is off.
It looks like.
Now your mic is off. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I got to get Tony Magno back in here. For some reason, Tony got
dropped.
It's Jeff. He just gained weight.
Who is this? See, we can't. Your audio isn't on. Your audio isn't on.
Yeah, your mic's not working.
Unmute.
Autumn.
Hang on.
Oh, there you go. Are you there?
Unmute.
Hi. Who is it? Who is this? And what name are you? What name are you using here so I can put you up here on the screen? Wait a minute. We got to hang up on you. If you can't turn off your speaker.
We got to hang up on you. If you can't turn off your speaker.
There. Now your speaker's off. Now can you talk to us?
No.
Yeah.
Turn off your speaker.
No.
Yeah, but he's speeding back.
We're still having troubles. We're gonna have to kind of say goodbye.
Try putting on some headphones.
We're still having troubles. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to kind of.
I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to deal with this at all.
We're still having.
Okay. Remove from call. There we go.
Yeah, he just didn't have headphones on. His speakers were feeding back.
Yeah. And it's nobody I've ever seen before, so I have no idea who that was.
If he puts on headphones, he'll be fine.
Yeah, if you put on headphones, if you're listening to us, if you were to put on headphones and turn your speakers off, you'd probably be fine. But the sound was just coming back and it was going crazy. But getting back to YouTube, I mean, they sent a thing, and what didn't make a lot of sense because it said, well, we realize that some news people have to talk about it and so on, so we may make some exceptions. And I'm going, what? Give
This
me
is
a break.
a current events show. Why wouldn't you be able to talk about it and be monetized? Because it is a current event show.
and
we talk about current events, even though they're not active.
By the way, I guess I won't talk about it, but I'll play this.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this podcast.
Okay, so
That's PSA.
We have that on our 24/7 feed constantly running. So
see what Bobby Slayton wrote about this on Facebook?
No.
He says Ozzy Osbourne bites off the head of a bat 40 years ago, and his record sales soar. Some dumb Chinese peasant makes a bat sandwich for lunch, and the world comes to an end. That's brilliant.
Good old Bobby.
Yeah. But it's crazy, and it's crazy what it's done to us as a society. I look out on the street, and there are some people out there, not as many, and it's very quiet out there. And I saw two people on the street corner talking to each other today, and they were 6 feet from each other. They kept the distance.
So my neighbors did today. They all sat out front, about 6 feet apart in chairs because it was a nice day, hanging out on the street, on the front yard.
Yep, and then I saw two people waiting to cross across the street at the light, and they kept their distance of 6 feet apart from each other.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, when I went to the store, we were all bouncing around each other in the carts, just staying away.
Now, I wish I had a shotgun to take out a few of those people on the beach at Miami. Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, what a bunch of stupid kids those are.
And they're going to come back and give everybody the thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'd use the Humvee.
And the thing Fauci said today was he didn't want people in New York, leaving New York to go to, say, their home or their relatives or whatever in Long Island or in upstate New York, because this could be a way of spreading it. Just stay in place, you know? Stay in your apartment. I mean, I can't for the life of me, I mean, I may eventually get it, who knows? But I can't for the life of me see how I can catch it if I don't leave this apartment, you know?
My mother's 90th birthday is May 17th. I have no idea the next time I'll be seeing her.
Okay, now this person is back now. Who is this? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, who are you? And what name do you use on Skype?
My name is John. I'm from San Francisco. I used to listen to you a long time ago.
Your name is, let's see here. Let me see what
John Larkin.
John Larkin. I'm trying to see if it could be this one. That's who it could be. Let me see here. John Larkin. Let me see here. There we go. Yep. We got you, John. Hi, welcome. We're glad you finally could figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing in San Francisco? You're on real lockdown there, aren't you?
Yeah, but, you know, everybody's kind of ignoring it, but, you know.
Mm-hmm. Kind of ignoring it.
Kind of, yeah.
What do you mean? By kind of ignoring it, what do you mean? I mean, are they still observing the rules?
There's a lot of people on the street. People are not taking it very seriously in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how old?
You find a lot of people on the streets.
Yeah. How old are you?
Sorry?
How old are you?
62.
Okay, so you're in that area where it could be dangerous, you know?
Yes.
Really dangerous to you. Although I was seeing tonight on television a lot of a 35-year-old dying. There's even, I think the youngest one is a 7-year-old kid died of it.
14-year-old girl died recently.
Yeah.
My sister's friend works at NYU. They just had a lady pass away, 41.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I already, you know, Ronnie thinks she may have had it. And my friend Steve Weiner says he probably has it. He called his doctor, or talked to his doctor, and the doctor said, you probably have it. But don't do anything about it, because as long as you can breathe and as long as you can keep going, don't take up a hospital bed. You know, so
I have my own ventilator, and so does Kevin.
Oh, really?
You do?
Yeah, it's a CPAP.
No, that's not a ventilator.
You know, I was wondering about that. I wonder if they could use them. What do you think?
Well, you know what they say is that the moisture, if your nostrils are moist, that helps ward off the coronavirus.
Oh, here we go. More medical advice from Phil.
Yeah,
Dr. Phil.
That's true. I gotta Google that now.
You know, I've been wearing the CPAP machine. I wish I could walk around with it. You know.
I'm gonna sell mine on eBay.
Yeah,
I have 2 of them.
Ventilator. Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
I just stopped snoring, so you know.
Yeah, but if you had a CPAP, you might live.
Yeah, well, I'm radiated, so probably nothing can get past that. You know.
You gotta put one of them fish pills in the humidifier and then inhale it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What is your name again? I'm very bad with names. Huh?
John Larkin.
John Larkin. So
John Larkin.
Yeah. So John, have you been out much, or have you been sticking in to the house?
I'm staying in. I live in the Tenderloin, so you know, I'm pretty. There's restaurants and grocery stores close by, but I only go out about once a day.
Yeah.
John, you live on Larkin Street?
Close to it. I live on Leavenworth.
Oh, okay, that's next door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a Larkin Street in the Tenderloin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that, you know. I mean, I just it's terrible, but I just think we need a little more leadership in this. You know, I never thought I would say it, but when they're having those press conferences and Mike Pence gets up, I breathe a slight sigh of relief.
Yeah, he's not as bad as Trump.
Yeah, because he at least tries to present some semblance of leadership. Okay.
I'm tired tonight. When I saw him in those last press conference, he's looking down, he's reading his notes, and he was like, not stressed, but
It's got to be stressful. I mean, hating him as much as I do, that's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These 15 days.
Yeah. Oh, that fucking card with the 15 days
Can't
thing
wait
on
till
it.
Saturday Night Live gets a hold of that.
Yeah. But
It's gonna be a long time before Saturday Night Live is back.
Yeah, I know. They'll probably forget about it by then. But
I don't know if I can do this completely, but this is my impression of Trump at the press conference when he's standing over in the corner watching it.
Yeah.
He's not exactly paying attention. Do you ever notice he goes?
Yeah, he looks around and he's doing the Hillary. I'm looking at you
He
now.
keeps swaying his body back and forth.
Yeah, he does.
He's trying
that's
to
right.
pay
He does.
attention, but he can't. You know what I'm talking about, everybody?
Yeah,
I can't hear you. I gotta put my earphones on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know about that little thing. I mean, it's just that he should really maybe let other people hold the press conferences. Who can, if Fauci was giving, was there giving his little speech, and even Pence gave his little speech, and here, follow these rules, whatever. I think the country would feel a little bit better. But I think Trump is handling this so badly because he's such a con artist, and he doesn't know how to do anything else but con. Yes, Mr. Larkin, are you there? He's frozen now. Oh, there we go.
No, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I know the Tenderloin, so you probably have a lousy internet connection, but yeah. So and I would I want nothing more than for the president to be presidential in this, and I would like nothing more than him to be able to. Who just put a picture up here? Who did that? Who? Which one of you did that? Which one of you?
I think it was an accident.
Huh? I think.
How do you see the chat?
I don't know. It came up. All of a sudden, a picture came up. I don't know. But anyway, I so want him at a time like this to be able to rally the nation, and he's just not doing it. And I think he should. But he doesn't. His ego is so big. He doesn't say, I'm not very good at this. I should let Pence do it, or I should let Fauci do it, or I should let any number of people, do it. Instead, he feels he's got to do it. To begin with, he knows he's monopolizing time on the air, and that as long as he's monopolizing it, none of the Democrats are talking about their campaigns. When's the last? I saw Joe Biden on the air today, and I almost forgot what he looked like. And we haven't even seen Bernie Sanders.
He's done.
That's only because they had to put it on the air. I've been watching this live broadcast every day. He has an hour or two live broadcast every day.
Who? Bernie
Sanders.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I need to turn the light on. It turns off.
They did that movie, My Weekend with Bernie. They got two guys on the side of him, propping him up the window.
Yeah.
His live broadcast.
He has
By the way,
very good content.
Same thing over for 45 years. It's easy just to get a recording.
Yeah. He doesn't come up with anything new. That's for damn sure.
That's because his old stuff is good. We just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, but times change, and you adapt even the most socialistic of thinking to modern times, and he's still living with a credo that really is best served in the 1950s. It's a problem. It really is, and I think that's why he hasn't connected with the American people. Also, Biden just acts more presidential. Right?
Biden took everything that Trump is doing and claimed that it was his platform to do for the virus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't even heard Biden talk about the virus.
Doing anything right yet?
Yeah. Well, no, but Biden is claiming it as his own.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you gotta shut down the things from China. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. It was every single point. I was watching a YouTube of Biden giving a speech just the other day on his position on what to do for the virus, and his platform was the list of things that Trump did.
Let's see if he agrees and starts to say we need to reopen everything by Easter.
I guarantee you he would not say that.
How did he even come up with that? I didn't even get. That's what was so confusing with the Easter.
Because
wouldn't that be just wonderful if it was Easter?
He just said he picked it.
You know, Easter would be so.
It's a Christian holiday.
He said because it's one of my favorite holidays. Yeah, like you go to church, you mother. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like no one's even thinking about that. Everybody's just thinking about staying in the house, and he's thinking about the money. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, why didn't he make it Passover instead of Easter? Because we all know we Jews are better with money. You know, we'll get it back into circulation again. You know.
I wouldn't give it back to him, though, I'll tell you.
But hey, the best plan I heard about how to dispense this money, but I don't know what happened to it because it just looks like they're going to send us all $1,200 and we're going to go out and.
Only certain people. There's means testing.
It's what so I don't
In
get
fact,
it.
The poor people get less.
Really? Here's what I heard. Here's what I heard was the plan, and it was a reasonable plan, and that was that this money would be used to finance the states and their unemployment compensation, to compensate for people's unemployment 100%.
Yeah.
So in other words, if you applied for unemployment for this thing, you would get whatever you got as a salary. And I thought that was a very good idea. That was a good way of parceling it out. You know, but I mean, what? We're going to bail out the cruise ships, these floating petri dishes.
Exactly.
You know,
that's where it's coming from. They want us to get sick.
Yeah. Why are we bailing out the cruise ships? Why are we bailing out the airlines? The airlines have been overcharging us for years. They've been making obscene profits in the last couple of years. And all of a sudden, because they can't find people, we have to take care of them. Just keep your planes on the ground. Don't put gas in them. You know, and you won't be.
Don't even pay U.S. taxes.
They're losing baggage fees. I'm kind of glad that they have problems. They've screwed me on baggage. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's with saving the airlines? Save the guy who works up at the restaurant where I go to, and he can't go in and work every day right now. Go save him. Yes, Sibby.
I heard somewhere that most of these cruise lines, they have like a Jamaican flag or an Antigua flag or different Panama flag because they're registered in that country, and so they don't have to pay taxes.
Right.
So why is our tax money being paid to help those who don't even pay their taxes here?
I don't know why he's obsessed with the cruise ships. You know, I mean,
they must have given him money.
Florida depends on the cruise ships for a lot of tourism. And it's very important to Florida to have the cruise industry, and it'll cripple Florida if you don't.
Well, look, I mean, by the way,
they got Disneyland.
So compensate
by the way,
Florida, don't compensate the cruise ship.
Do you know what isn't open for business right now? Every day?
Disney.
Yeah, Disney.
No. The most important part of the American economy.
My carpet store?
No. Wall Street. The stock exchange is not open. They're operating completely on computers, and that's it. There are no human beings on that floor.
It went up 2,000 points today, so maybe that works.
It's been that way for the most of the week, Phil. And the reason it went up today is because the stock market saw some perhaps relief coming from the federal government in these things. We have a long way to go to get it back to where it was. You know, saying that it went up 2,000 points today is just a piss in the fucking ocean. You know, and it's nothing to say wonderful things about. Just be happy it didn't go down, right, Keith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Keith. Am I right, Keith Larkin?
No, John.
John Larkin. See, I'm terrible with names. If he calls about a dozen times, I'll finally get his name right.
I'm down $188 since the crash.
Really? I'm probably down about 30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm not planning on spending it anytime soon.
I only put 1,000 in.
Although I did have to shell out some co-pays today for my cancer. I had to put out $435 in co-pays.
Why haven't they put a moratorium on co-pays?
I heard they did. I thought they did, or is that just for testing?
For the virus.
For the virus, yeah. But listen, the total bill so far that was based on was what was billed by the hospital, not paid by Medicare, but billed by the hospital total was something like $70,000. So the fact that I had to put out $433, I think, is okay by me, you know. And most of that was like my yearly deductible. So where do we go from here, guys? What's the plan? Do we all just crawl up in a little ball and just disappear, or do you think we're
bought Brian Neary's stock? The guy that works for the company that came up with the test. It went up $7.76 today. And I thought about buying it Monday because I knew the thing was coming out, and I just got busy and didn't do it.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
I would have made money because I didn't make money in anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which stock is that?
It's the initials are DHR. It's the company that owns his company. It's a German medical research company, but the symbol is DHR. And,
yeah.
So, I sent you some stuff.
Yeah, you're a big player in the stock market now. You've already lost $800. Yeah.
No, $180.
$180. Excuse me. Yeah.
Phil's going. Yeah. Everybody take their money out.
This was get an account, which I hadn't had. My ex-wife had the account. I never traded stocks, and so I took 1,000. I said, okay, there's a downturn. It went down 7%, so I bought it 27,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 20. So, I've always said that if I buy something in the stock market, people should do the opposite.
Well, that's why I think maybe you should do a stock report for us and tell us what you're buying, so we'll know that and be able to do exactly the opposite. It's kind of a form of shorting. If you buy it, we'll sell it.
We can sell it, right? Well, I bought the Dow.
Yeah. Hey, listen, there's our theme song playing its way out of here. John Larkin, please call again and get used to doing this, and then you can really engage yourself in the citizen panel even more than you are right now. Although I think he's frozen and gone, if I'm not mistaken. All right, well, and I don't know why I said goodbye to him. Goodbye to Rob Alfano, Phil Meyer, Kevin, thank you, Charlie Wallace, Sibby Itty, and of course the lovely and attractive Tony Magno. Okay?
And everybody stay healthy.
Yes, and everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll wave right back at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizens panel for tonight. I'm going to hang up on them now. They're hanging up on me. Boy, they couldn't hang up fast enough. But I'll hang up on them now, and I will then turn off my feed. There we go. And get it ready for the next show, which is Jack Bishop. He's going to be here with The Intersection. Call him. He's fun too, and does more of the same thing we do here. We'll be back again tomorrow night, right here. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as I always like to say, please stay 6 feet away from somebody, and if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.